Hi, welcome to Muzzle First. So I was just wrapping up a couple letters here that I was sending off to my my representative, Ann Wagner. I do live in the state of Missouri. I think I've mentioned that before a couple times on my channel, but I generally do email these to her Washington, D.C. office, and I do that partly because that's the address that comes up by default when I do the email template. I would encourage you to write your politicians. Now, one of these letters, you know, so there are 5 of them here. I'm sending off 5 letters. I'm talking about 5 different topics to my representative, not just one. You should be contacting your representatives about the HR 399 issue. You should be contacting them via email. You should be calling them, and you should write them. Send them a letter. Written letters speak volumes to the politicians. They need to know where you stand. Voting for your politician is not enough. Voting them in office is not enough. If all that they hear from the representative, from the people that they represent, is that they want guns banned, bet you can guess which direction they're going to go. They need to hear from you. And emailing is not enough. Emailing means something, but it doesn't mean as much as a letter in their hand with your signature on it. And that's what these are. So I've already went through the email thing, and I've already emailed my representative, Ann Wagner, about all 5 of these issues. And I'm going to call next week. I generally do this about once a quarter. But right now, we need to be more vigilant than this. Once a quarter is not enough. Not right now. It used to be, but now it's not. I need to do this at least once a month. At least once a month, I need to write these letters, even if it's the same letters, over and over and over. Write the letter, save it, print it out next week, next month, send it again. Send it again, over and over and over. Every time you get a chance, let them know where you stand on these issues. Like I said, one of these is about HR 399, and I really don't want to get into that. I think everyone knows what HR 399 is, or they have an idea of what it is. It really hasn't made it anywhere yet. Whether it will or not, we don't know. My guess is it's going to come down to a presidential signature, and he's either going to sign it or not sign it. And I honestly don't know what Donald Trump would do in a situation like that, because he is not predictable. If there's one thing about Donald Trump that he has proven time and time again, is he is not predictable. And it's one of the things that I like about him. He's not a politician. You don't necessarily know where he stands on some issues. You know that he's kind of conservative about things, but there's always a possibility that he will go against the people that voted for him. And that's someone else that you need to contact. You need to be contacting the White House. They have their own way that you can email and write the president. You need to be doing that as well. But if the only time that you're getting involved with your representatives is when the internet is blowing up about an issue like HR 3999, that's part of the problem. You should be writing your politicians regularly. Like I said, I normally do this quarterly. Last year during the elections, when it got hot, I was doing this monthly, sometimes weekly, because they need to know where you stand on issues. Emailing them whenever something like this HR 399 issue blows up, that doesn't mean diddly. You need to be a little more proactive. You need to be out in front of this stuff. You need to already be talking to your politicians. They should already know the way that their constituents' views are on these things before they even come to them. And that's what I wanted to make this video about today. I have my 5 letters. These will go out Monday, and I will print probably the 5 same letters, and I'm going to send them out next week, and I'm going to send them out the week after that, and the week after that. Because this stuff going on right now is bullshit. We all know it. We all know what it is. We all know that this is an open-ended regulation, and this has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with the bump fire stock. The fact that when the NRA came out with their statement that got us all this internet in a buzz, the fact that the bill had already been drafted at that point tells you something. They already had this in the can. They were already waiting to do something. You need to be doing the same. You need to be constantly contacting your politicians, your representatives, and letting them know where you stand on issues, and not just the hot issue of the day, all of the issues. There's a lot of bills right now that you should be concerned about. There's the HR 3668, which is the Sportsmen's Heritage and Recreation Enhancement Act, the SHARE Act. You should be talking to your politicians about that. There's HR 3576, which is the Second Amendment Guarantee Act. You should be talking about that one. There's also the HR 2620, that's the Lawful Purpose and Self-Defense Act. You should be talking about that one. And then there's the HR 2706, which is the Financial Institution Customer Protection Act. That is the act that's angled toward protecting gun companies from losing their financial support just because the someone in the government says so. You should be vigilant about these things. You should be acting on these. You should be emailing, calling, and writing. And writing is very important. It costs a little bit of money to put those stamps on this, but that is pennies on a dollar compared to what we're going to lose if we start losing our rights. So I would just encourage you to get involved. An email every time, one email or 2 emails or 10 emails, every time something blows up on the internet like this HR 399 crap, that's diddly. You need to be sending more emails. You need to be sending letters. You need to be calling and letting them know. Email, call, and written letter. These are actually typed letters, and if you want the body of these letters, I'll post the body of these letters, and you can actually copy my letters and send them. Put your signature on it and your politician's address and send them if you want. But you should be doing this. This should be nothing. This should be nothing new to anyone who is concerned about their rights, no matter what side of the fence you stand on. And this is not just a gun rights issue right here. This is politics. No matter where you stand on an issue, whether this was something about abortion or whatever, your politician should know where you stand on these issues. Like I said, just because you voted for them is not enough. Voting for them doesn't tell them where you stand on issues. It just means that for some reason they got in office. They think they're doing something good. And if they get reelected, even if it's for the wrong reason, they think they're doing something good. You need to let them know what you're voting for. Why did you vote for them? They need to know that. Letters like this will tell them. And I'll also point out that your representatives have 2 offices. I'm sending these letters to the Washington, D.C. office. They also have an office in your state. You need to call both of those offices. Do not just call one. You can if you want, but call both. Call both offices. You'll talk to different people. Be polite. Be overly polite. When they speak, shut up and listen to them. They sometimes will ask me questions. They'll ask me about how I feel about an issue, but most of the time, they just ask me what I'm calling about, and they write it down. And they have asked me to slow down before. I've been known to start talking and get talking really fast, and they've asked me to slow down. But just be polite. Talk to them, tell them your issues, have your issues written out on paper so you can stare at it and tell them, I'm calling about HR 3999, and I oppose this, and I want my representative, Ann Wagner, to oppose this issue. And also be sure that if your politician is doing good, let them know that. Ann Wagner is a great representative. I love her. She has been fantastic at what she does, and I always tell them that when I call them. I know she's going to oppose this even before I'm calling, but I'm calling anyway because I want to reinforce the fact that she is doing the right thing. So even if you know your politician is going to oppose this, you still need to let them know that. Let them know that they are doing the right thing. Let them know that they're going the right direction. Let them know that they are doing what their constituents expect them to do. The people that put them in office. That's it. That's all I wanted. Get involved. Help right the ship. We've got a lot going for us right now, but there is so much turmoil. So many people on both sides of this fence fighting the president for doing what is right. And the problem is, when it comes down to a vote like this, we don't know where he's going to stand yet. This might be the first one that gives us an idea of where our president's going to stand on these issues. And if he falters on this one, It's going to be bad, folks. If he falters on this one, there's going to be another one right behind it. I guarantee you. So get in there. Get in this fight. Help right this ship. Contact your representatives. Contact your politicians. All of them about these issues. Any issue that they can vote on, you need to be contacting them on. And there's several resources for doing this. So the way I generate these letters are actually the same emails that are generated online when I go through the forms on the NRA's ILA site. And they're a good resource for that. So they will give you a nice formatted letter that's in the format of an email. But they'll show you the entire letter and the address and your signature block and everything. And all you have to do is copy that, paste it into Microsoft Word or some other text formatting software, make it look pretty, print it, sign it, put it in an envelope, and mail it. That's all you have to do. You don't have to sit down and type these things out by hand and try to think of what you want to say. You can if you want to. I take the email that they give me, the same email that I send them. I print that. I put it into Word. I print it and put it in an envelope and address it, and I send it to them. And I do this, like I said, I was doing this quarterly, and I'm gonna try to do this weekly, if not monthly. But I really want to be doing this weekly. This is something that we need to be more vigilant on, and I need to be more vigilant myself at doing this. After Trump won the election, I think conservatives in this country got lazy. We give up worrying about things, that's evidenced by the gun sales alone. Gun sales plummeted. Now, my gun stores are still doing okay. They're selling a lot of things that they didn't normally sell before. They're selling a lot more high-end stuff and different things. So it's not like they're going out of business. They're still doing good. But they have a lot of guns on the shelf. They're not selling near as many guns as what they had been selling during the crazy stuff right before the election. So get in there. Re-engage. Middle America has been asleep for years. We woke up during the election when everything was going on. We need to stay awake. Do not go back to sleep. Do not let the liberals in this country do what they want to do. You need to make this country back into what it was when we were kids. This bullshit that is going on with all of these liberals and all of the entire left. It's not just liberals. You take everything from center onto the left. They are a problem right now. And they're not necessarily united. It looks like they're united, but they're not. There's fractions within the left. And we need to be picking at that. We need to be hammering our politicians about what we expect of them. All of these Republicans jumping on H.R. 3999, that should never have happened. They should have known where their constituents stood on that issue. They should have known how you wanted them to respond to that issue when it came up. And I guarantee you, that bill was drafted prior to the event in Las Vegas that brought this whole thing to light. That was already out there. They were just waiting for something to happen. I'm not going to put my tinfoil hat on and go much deeper than that, but they were waiting. It's just a matter of waiting for something else to happen, and they landed onto a gold mine. And they're pushing it for everything they can get, and they will. If you do nothing, if you sit back and just complain on the internet about this bill and gripe and complain and do nothing but sit on your ass and complain, you will get exactly what you have sown. Contact your politicians. Contact your representatives. Let them know where you stand. Let them know regularly where you stand. I'm going to do this weekly. These 5 letters right here. I'm going to send these same 5 letters every single week. If something new comes out, if there's another bill comes out, I'm going to tag one in there with that as well. Until each one of these bills is either passed or denied, I'm going to keep sending these letters. That's it. That's all I wanted. Get involved. There was a quote made by Tom Barrack during the 2016 Republican National Convention. He got a lot of flack for this, but I love this quote. His quote was talking about Donald Trump. He was saying that Donald Trump's motto is that a lion wakes up every morning and knows one thing, that it has to run faster than the fastest gazelle. And the gazelle wakes up, he knows that he has to run faster than the fastest lion. But whether you're a lion or you're a gazelle, you get up in the morning and you get the hell going. And that was a quote by Tom Barrack, talking about Donald Trump's motto on life. And that fits right here so well. You need to get up. You need to start moving. You need to run faster than that gazelle. That gazelle is that freaking liberal down the hall from you. You need to run faster than them. We need to be more vigilant than they are. Make your feelings known. Make your views known. Quit being so passive. Get up. Get engaged. Help right the ship. This has been Muzzle First. If you've got any comments about this video, you can post them in the area below this video on YouTube. If you want to contact me by email, you can send me an email at muzzlefirst@gmail.com. Don't forget I do have a Facebook page, and I'll put a link to that down below. Or you can visit my website, www.muzzlefirst.com. Thank you, and you have a great day.